To quote Jagmeet Singh, leader of the New Democratic Party, he ripped up the supply and confidence agreement with Trudeau's Liberal government. Now, Jagmeet Singh's NDP has been supporting Justin Trudeau's minority Liberal government in Canada since 2022. And in a shocking move, he withdrew his support on 5th of September. Jagmeet Singh is also known in India for his support of Khalistan. He's known to patronize Khalistani elements on the Canadian soil. General elections in Canada are to be held on October 2025. But with NDP withdrawing its support, is Justin Trudeau's government set to fall? Joining me to discuss this are journalist Sameer Kaushal, joining us from Canada, and Ambassador Manju Seth, former Indian diplomat and distinguished fellow, Forum for Global Studies. Sameer, good to see you. Thanks for joining us here. I want to begin by asking you, how do you see these developments really? Jagmeet Singh, coming out in that video statements on social media and withdrawing that agreement that he had with the Liberal government. Is this mere posturing, or do we see, when the Parliament meets later this month, some kind of a no-confidence vote?
Thank you so much, Aditya, for taking me in. In the fall, our House of Commons session going to start. And Mr. Jagmeet Singh, he just wants to look tough for now as far as this agreement is concerned. This was just an agreement. He's not saying confidently or openly that whether he's having a confidence in the government or not. It is just, some kind of word salad right now that he is ripping off the agreement, supply and agreement. And I don't think that for now there's going to be any kind of issues because as far as Justin Trudeau's popularity is concerned, Justin Trudeau's image right now is like eclipsed politician in Canada. Nobody wants to go closer to him. And especially with the latest polls from last 1.5 years, his polling is down. His popularity is plummeting so low. And as far as the latest polling is concerned, his party, according to the polls, coming at number 4, which is behind the NDP. So NDP don't want to take chance right now, and they want to show them as federal, official opposition in the next election. But as far as Mr. Jagmeet Singh's this decision is concerned, as you said, that whether there's going to be any kind of threat to the Liberal government at this time, Jagmeet Singh is a smart politician. He is just, right now showing to the Canadians that he is not supporting the government in one way, that is through the agreement. But on the other hand, he categorically said this, that we're going to look in the coming fall session that on certain policies or certain motions, whether the NDP is going to support them or not. So he's not saying that we're not going to support. He's not saying that we're going to bring a non-confidence motion for the government. Right. So he is playing very smart. He is saving his skin as well. Though there are certain, accusations by the official opposition leader, Mr. Pierre Poilievre, who is a federal conservative leader. He, at so many occasions, he said that Mr. Jagmeet Singh, why he's supporting Justin Trudeau's Liberal government, because he wants to save his pension. So those kind of accusations Jagmeet Singh is facing, as well as Jagmeet's inner party circles are not very happy that Jagmeet is supporting Liberal government right now, which is not giving any kind of good message, or not going in a right direction, which can help the Canadians. Canadians are going through so many crises right now.
Sameer, I want to hold you there, because I want to return to you with a question on how strong the Conservatives are. And the kind of carbon tax debate that's happening right now, and what this means for India really, if the Conservatives really form the government next. But Ambassador Manju Seth, let me bring you in. How do you see this development? Over the last 1 year, I've noticed these debates that have been happening inside the House of Commons, but also outside, where the main leader of the opposition has attacked Justin Trudeau government on carbon tax, on housing, on several other issues that actually a part of daily life of Canadians. And I have friends in Canada who have been upset with the economy really taking a somersault in Canada. So how do you see these developments right now, the NDP taking back support? Of course, Sameer says that this is merely a posturing, a smart gimmick, if I may say so. But is it increasingly clear that Justin Trudeau perhaps is there only for a few weeks or months and maybe will not return?
there is this posturing by Jagmeet Singh, of course, that because he feels that his position is a bit compromised if the elections take place, the next elections, whenever they take place, though they are due only next year, but we don't know how things will pan out. And as very rightly said by Sameer, this appears to be an attempt to put pressure on the Trudeau government and to say that nothing is being done for the people. Because inflation and carbon tax and a lot of other issues, climate change and all this is affecting people. And inflation, housing crisis, I think a lot of issues which are affecting the Canadian people, the general people, and they don't want the common people, and they don't really, I mean, the support for Trudeau has steadily decreased. And as you
Right.
very rightly said, his party is now at the fourth position. But whether the government will fall or elections will be held, I think this at the moment is up in the air. And Jagmeet Singh has also said it's not that he's withdrawing support. It was an automatic support that he's not going to now, that has been withdrawn. And on issue, there will be issue-based, support as he put it. So on certain issues, he might support. So we don't, but the other, conservatives are calling for a confidence motion. We don't know how Jagmeet Singh will act at that point of time, whether he will support the Trudeau government in a confidence motion or he will not. We don't know. And of course, it is now becoming a question of survival for the Trudeau government. And he is reaching out to other conservatives and to not others, but to conservative parties and to other parties in the opposition. But how it pans out remains unclear at the moment. But definitely, as far as India is concerned, with Jagmeet Singh, having his pro-Khalistani inclinations and support, and being very, vocal on all this, I think for us, it is, and the pressure he was able to put on the Trudeau government every time India raised the issue of putting a lid on pro-Khalistani activities, including as we saw, attacking the Indian diplomats and putting on all kinds of
Right.
So he was able to put or to pressurize, I should say, or to influence the Canadian government not to take the action that should have been taken to curb these elements.
Fair enough. Sameer, let me get you on the leader of the opposition, Pierre Poilievre. And how, he's been taking Justin Trudeau to the cleaners, really, with his statements, his press conference, his statements inside the parliament and outside. What are the key issues? Because, I've been speaking to a lot of Canadians, and in India, of course, there's a lot of sentiment against Khalistan, but it doesn't seem like that Khalistan is really an issue back there in domestic politics. How would you see the elections pan out if it really happens in October 2025? Because some polls really say that 60 to 70% the Conservatives are strong of actually returning to power after years.
I think there are 3 or 4 things which we should consider when we are looking at Canadian elections. Canadian elections right now, I think it's likely going to be early than the scheduled time, and there are certain reasons for that. The first reason is the unpopularity of Mr. Justin Trudeau, for sure. The second thing, we can say there is undercurrent within the party, within the Liberal Party, that right now Mr. Justin Trudeau's so-called eclipsed personality bring it down to the 4th level. And moreover, there are certain issues. So if we talk about the drug overdose issue, there was a report in Telegraph, a news organization, where they quoted that Vancouver is the world's fentanyl capital for the overdose deaths. And as far as the public safety is concerned, Interpol, they give their report where they mentioned that Toronto is the auto theft capital in the world. So, and as far as the housing is concerned, we have less houses, and we are bringing more and more people from different countries for different reasons. And government was first boasting this thing that we are so welcoming and we want every year 500,000 new Canadians in our country. And though not just only 500,000, they were giving visas to approximately more than 800,000 international students, including, the temporary foreign workers. So it was altogether more than 1 million people were coming in a year, though we were not having all the facilities over here, our road infrastructure, our educational infrastructure, our health infrastructure. If you look at different provinces, the wait time is too high. That approximate wait time, if I tell you in my province, British Columbia, in hospitals, it is approximately 5 to 8 hours wait time to look for a physician or for a doctor.
Wow.
So many people say, yeah, absolutely. I mean, healthcare is broken right now. Housing is broken. As far as the affordability is concerned, you will be surprised that we are a developed country. And there's a Stats Canada's report that approximately 2 million people, that is 20 lakh people, those who are right now dependent on food banks. Let me just give you one more stat. We have a Gurudwara, that is the Gurudwara Dukh Nivaran in Surrey, British Columbia. Surrey is a densely populated area with the South Asian community, especially with the Punjabi people. That particular Gurudwara cater 19,000 families every month. They give the donations or the food donations to 19,000 families. And there's another network called the Surrey Food Bank. They gave the food donation to 23,000 families. So if in one city there are approximately more than 40,000 families are dependent on food banks, and altogether 2 million people are, or 2 million Canadians are dependent on food banks. So
Right.
we can better judge the youngsters, Gen Zs. They already lose hope that whether they're going to have a house in their future in Canada. The crime rate is so high. As I mentioned, the auto theft is too high. And the Toronto police, they give the statement that leave your car fobs in front of your door, so no antisocial element should come to your home and rob you. There are certain incidents happened with the trucking industry, especially with the South Asian community, Punjabi community, where they received the reports of extortion calls, and their houses have been shot. They have been targeted through some threatening phone calls. And it's not just here. There are youngsters, those who are going into gangs and drugs, and especially, as I said, the Vancouver, the West Coast, the British Columbia's biggest city. Even the British Columbia itself, every day there are more than 6 people are dying because of the overdose, the fentanyl.
Well,
And,
Sameer, these are
recently-
eye-opening details, really. I wish I had more time right now, but I'm running out of time on this debate. But we'll have you again. These are certainly shocking details, somehow not being reflected as much in the Canadian or the international media, something that the people ought to know about. They need to know what's happening. The gangland violence, the drug addiction, women not feeling safe in some areas. Of course, you mentioned about the healthcare and infrastructure crisis as well. My friend, in fact, in Canada went to a hospital in emergency at 6 a.m. and only managed to get admission at midnight. So that perhaps gives you a reality check of what's happening really in Canada. But Ambassador Manju Seth and Sameer Kaushal, thank you very much for joining us. We'll have you again in the run-up to more political developments in Canada.